Good evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?
Welcome back to the Detroit Tigers franchise on MLB the Show. I'm your host, longtime listener. Be sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below. We are at about the quarterway of the season. So what we're going to do is take this episode and do a recap of kind of everything going on around the league, stats, standings, etc., as we traditionally do at about this time of the year, because this is the point in the year where you kind of get a feel for what kind of season your players individually are going to have, but also your team. So, bottom line is, we're doing okay, but we've got some things where there are some concerns. So we'll just kind of have to see how everything shakes loose as we move forward. But let's start with standings around the league. The East is very tight here, as you've got four teams within a game and a half, and the Red Sox just four back. So that one is too close to call at this point. The Guardians are a game and a half up on us right now. We're playing okay, 5-5 over our last 10. Not playing very well on the road, but nonetheless, we're right in the mix here. Not scoring any runs. Look at the runs scored. 151 for us, 224 for the Guardians. So our pitching has been okay, has been actually really good, but our offense has been a disaster. The Rangers 26-20 are in first place, and I did not see that coming. The Blue Jays, Yankees, Rays, Tigers, as you can see here, all kind of in. So it's very tight. I mean, you've got basically every team in the league kind of still in the mix, although the A's at 18-27, you can pretty much write them off at this point. But 5 games back at the quarterway point in the season, if you just start to play pretty decent baseball, you can hang around and be in the mix at the break. So in the National League, the Braves 3.5 up in the East, Cardinals 3.5 up in the Central, and look at the Reds 15-30. Jeez. And the Padres 2.5 up over the Rockies, and the Dodgers are in third place, 4 games back. They are in position for the wild card, and look how tight this is. Or I guess after the Brewers, look how big of a drop-off it is in the National League versus the American League. So that's pretty interesting. So a lot of parity going on in the American League pretty much across the board. And so let's take a look at, let's go individual stats here and just kind of see how we're doing offensively. So Spencer Torkelson is having a pretty good year. He's hitting .267 with 10 home runs. He's got the OPS over 800, which is pretty solid. Riley Green having a pretty solid year as well, hitting .281 with 4 home runs, stealing some bases for us. Rafael Devers, the power is there, but the average is down a little bit. That's kind of normal for him. He has not been very good against lefties so far this season. Benintendi's got to get the average up a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about him because he's pretty much steady Eddie usually. Jonathan VR, yet again, having a pretty good year for us. He's been productive for us in the time that we've had him on this team for the most part. Was it last year, though, that he was really bad? No, he's been good for us pretty much the whole time. Austin Meadows, I've got to get his average up. I don't understand why his average has he just hasn't been able to hit for us really since the get-go when he came over from Tampa. We just the average just isn't there. He's had some injury trouble as well, but nonetheless a little bit disappointed. Mondesi was just really bad earlier. He's starting to turn it on a little bit, but the average still needs to come way up. Akil Baddoo, as usual, the average is lower than where we would like it, but he has 18 stolen bases, y'all. We have been stealing a lot of bases. This is the biggest disappointment on the season right here. Javi Baez, 243 with 1 home run, and we're 46 games into the season or whatever. He's got 1 home run in 115 at-bats. That is just asinine. So he's got to be better. Victor Reyes has been okay. I'll take that from him, honestly. Jonah Perez has been a disappointment. The average is down. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit better, but I need him to start performing. Eric Haas having a rough go of it so far this year, as is Jake Rogers. So we just don't have any catchers hitting. And then Willie Castro has just been awful. And the sad part is, most of the time he's playing against lefties when he should be really good. So he's only got 54 at bats, but he's got 5 hits in 54 at bats. That's just not going to get it done. But I want you to see right here, if we sort by stolen bases, we've got, a lot of guys that are snagging some bags for us. So that's been a little bit of a difference for us so far this season. Now we look at pitchers. And here's where we've got some guys that are really shining. Andrew Chafin has been outstanding. Michael Givens has also been outstanding. Casey Mize is probably pitching his way into the Cy Young discussion with a .94 whip, 1.32 ERA. So he has finally figured out how to keep the ERA down in line with the whip, and he's 6-2. So he's having an outstanding season. Matt Strom has been good. Tyler Alexander has been good. Floro has been really good. Jackson Jobe is actually pitching surprisingly well. The whip has been up a little bit. He's walking too many guys, but he's been able to get out of trouble. And he's 5-1, and we're going to get to see him pitch in the next episode. So we'll see if he can keep it going. Tarek Skubal has been a little bit off. Walks have been an issue, but he did pitch well in our last outing that we got to see him throw in, so not too concerned about him, but I would like to see him start to develop a little bit more. He's an 80 overall. This is driving me crazy. Casey Mize has just been flat dealing this year, and he's barely seeing any improvement to his attributes, but whatever. Eduardo Rodriguez has been a little bit of a disappointment, but he's not so bad that I got to do something about it. Matt Manning had been really bad in his first couple of outings, pitched pretty well once he got thrown into the starting rotation, but over his last couple of starts has not been very sharp. Turnbull injured. Chad Kuhl also injured, and he's out for like another month. So we called up Fletcher Burkett, and he has just been atrocious. And then Jarlin Garcia also not having a very good go of it, but only 9 2/3 innings of work, so he has a lot of season left to try and get that turned around. So that's where we're at individually. Why don't we go ahead actually and look at the minor league numbers, but we'll do so by just going in here. So nothing, well, Harold Castro swinging the bat well. Sam Huff not getting it done. It's like I don't have any catchers that I could call up, really. Trey Cruz having a nice year. Interesting. Excuse me. Spencer Steer, what's his D potential? And then Wilmer Defoe, we actually called him up for a little bit and then sent him back down. He wasn't really doing much for us, and he's not doing anything at AAA, so that's that. Double-A, who do we want to kind of keep an eye on? Cy Clarkson was injured and missed some time, but he is swinging the bat very well for us, so keep an eye out for him. He's a youngster with some potential. 21 years old, a potential, and a killer handlebar mustache. So keep it up, my man, and you will be in the majors before you know it. On the bench, Jose Colon, he's got good potential, but he's just so raw that we'll never have a use for him. Brett Cumberland, D potential. So nothing super noteworthy on the bench there. Let's go ahead and look at pitching. So he's been pretty good. Is he see, I don't remember who all are guys that we kind of want to keep an eye on. I don't think there's really anybody over here. Willie Lolich is one. He's pitching okay. The ERA is good. The whip is up a little bit, but only 6 innings of work. George McDonald, kind of the same situation. The whip is up. ERA is solid. He's got B potential. And then Chris Ashton is a guy that we want to look out for at the major league level before long. Somehow his Ks per 9 is going down, even though he's got A potential and is pitching extremely well. He's got a strikeout per inning, so why is his Ks per 9 going down? Whatever. AAA, Javier Alfonso, see potential, but he's only 22 and he's 71. This is a guy that could find his way on the 40-man roster if he can develop a little bit and be a long reliever for us. Kevin Mayfield has been decent, also see potential. Joey Wentz, not getting it done. That's a shocker. Matt Tabor, this is a guy that I was kind of hoping would pitch well and maybe develop a little bit because he's still 25, be potential. He's just not having a very solid season. And then Ty Madden is doing okay. He needs to develop some before he's major league ready, but he's got potential, so we'll see how he develops. Garrett Hill, no, be potential there, but he's 27, so he's kind of missed his window. Joe Jimenez is pitching well, so he's a guy that maybe we could call up if needed later this year. Ramon Merced, also good potential. He's having a little bit of struggles so far through 8 innings. The ERA is okay, but that whip is a disaster. Peter Suzuki, same thing. The whip is way up, but the ERA is all right. And then Brandon Webb, same thing. ERA is okay, but the whip is an issue. But again, he's got potential. He's young, and we've got some arms in this minor league system that we need to be keeping an eye out for because they'll be up before you know it. Let's look around the league at league leaders at this point. Ramon Urias leading the league in hitting. Correa right on his heels. Actually, do we have anybody in the mix there? I don't think so. Home runs. Rafael Devers is third with 12. Aaron Judge leading the way with 15. Vlad Jr. with 41 RBIs leading the way there. Stolen bases, it's Akil Baddoo, and it's not even close. So there you go. And if Mondesi could start getting on base more, he's got really good stolen base capability. I just need him to get on base so that I can actually have him stealing bases. OBP is Carlos Correa, Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge. So Zach Eflin has 8 wins leading the way there. There's Casey Mize, and I wonder if he's not in the Cy Young discussion. And Andrew Chafin is probably in the All-Star discussion for relievers. There's Mize, best ERA in the American League. He has a shutout, so there you go. Strikeouts, we don't have anybody on the list there. Shane Bieber way out in front there. Casey Mize, 2 complete games. Eduardo Rodriguez also has one for us. Innings pitched, Mize is third. Walks allowed, so whip, very tight, and there's Mize again. So he's got to be in the Cy Young discussion. If he can get some wins to back it up, he will find his way into that chat for sure. National League, Chris Taylor hitting 376. Jeez. Home runs, Jorge Soler with 17. So the Braves have 3 of the top 5 home run getters. That's pretty ridiculous. Soler leading the way in RBIs. Matt Olson the most runs. Marte 15 stolen bases. So Baddoo leading all of baseball in that category. On base percentage, Juan Soto. Slugging, Chris Taylor. Would not have guessed that. But when your average is as high as his, that kind of makes sense. That OPS is through the roof. Jorge Soler is hitting .314 with 17 home runs. What is happening? Chris Bassett, 7 wins for the Cardinals. I guess the Mets got rid of him. He's pretty, I was going to say he's got to be getting up there in age. Bunch of guys with 6 wins. Pagan, 20 saves already. 1.26 ERA for Justin Dunn. Who the heck is Justin Dunn? 28. He's 74 overall. So that's interesting. But anyway, there's Walker Buehler, 1.34. Jameson Taillon is on the Rockies now. Buehler shutouts, 3 for Chris Bassett. 64 strikeouts for Hunter Green, and apparently, I don't know a ton about him. He's young and a definitely, highly touted prospect for the Reds who supposedly can rack up a bunch of strikeouts. So he could end up being really good in the majors before long. Shohei Ohtani is on the Brewers. I forgot about that. So is Severino. So that's an interesting reload situation for the Brewers rotation. Innings pitched, Walker Buehler. Whip, Kyle Hendricks. Still getting it done, and he's 34 years old. And Walker Buehler pitching more, Juan Soto batting more. So that's the league leaders. Now we're going to take a look at awards and just kind of, let's see who's in the mix for all-star votes. So Casey Mize leading the way for starting pitchers, and it's really not even that close. So that's good to see. He's getting some love. Relievers, who cares? Andrew Chafin leading the way in closers voting as well. No catchers in the mix, not surprised. Torkelson not getting a lot of attention here, which I can understand it, but like, why is G-Man Choi getting that much love over Torkelson with twice as many home runs? Whatever, it's not a big deal. Second base, nobody. Third base, nobody. Shortstop, Baez not even like showing up anywhere even close. That's how bad he's been. He's probably got backups ahead of him on this list. He's just not been very good this year. Left field, Benintendi kind of far down the list. Center field, I was kind of hoping, well, there's Riley Green. That's not bad. And then in right field, nobody for us. So, all right. Last but not least, let's look at awards voting. So right now, the MVP, if the season ended today, would go to Vlad Jr. Cy Young would go to Bieber. I don't get that. It's basically just because of his strikeouts, which is so dumb. Like, why is Alek Manoah ahead of Casey Mize on this list? It's stupid, but whatever. The batting title. All right, reliever of the year would be Andrew Chafin. I'm not going to go through and look at the rest. Let's just look at the National League. It would be Pagan there. Actually, let's look at rookie of the year. Sal Frelick for the Pirates. Interesting. Connor Norby for the Orioles. And then let's go back this way. Taylor, Walker Buehler, and Jorge Soler. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. It's going to be a little bit of a short one, but that's kind of the nature of these. But we'll be back in a couple of days with another episode where we will have Jackson Jobe going against the Guardians. We'll probably get a second game in and the MLB draft. So stay tuned for that one. But if you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment below, and we will see y'all next time.
Good evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?